Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. I, Douglas Ducote, an American patriot by the grace of God, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from enemies foreign and especially domestic. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Patriots. Welcome to the weekend. Wherever you're at tonight, I hope that you'll pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you, because at the end of this, it is a call to action for you and me to do something about it. What I'm about to share with you pains me deeply. It pains me because I'm a veteran law enforcement officer, as well as a 4-time combat veteran. I served with honor to defend this country. I serve with honor to defend our Constitution that is being trampled on, spit on, and is being turned into nothing more than a ragged piece of paper. And the eyes of many never should have existed. Squad members descended on Columbia University encampment today, offering support for anti-Israel and anti-American agitators. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, aka AOC, Congressman Bowman arrived today, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar visited to show her support for the terrorists yesterday. New York Democrat AOC and Bowman, both members of the squad, were seen today mingling with anti-Israel, anti-American agitators at Columbia University, where support was offered to those in the encampment established to protest the Israeli military actions in Gaza. In one video shared on social media, you can see it just about on any platform you look for it, a smiling AOC is shown speaking with those inside the encampment and offering her support for those who have become engaged in what she calls a peaceful protest. Photographs of Bowman also circulated on social media, showing the cheerful New York Democrat listening to those who were taking part in the encampment protest. His appearance at the school came after he reportedly attended a Thursday evening Biden campaign fundraiser in Westchester County, where he was recognized for his attendance by none other than President Joe Biden. The visits by AOC and Bowman to Columbian campus in New York came one day after Minnesota Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, another prominent member of the squad, traveled to the school to show her support for the students who were taking part in a group of encampments on the main lawn in protest of the Israeli war against Hamas. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar was joining her visit to the school by her daughter, Israel Hazri, who was suspended just last week from Burton College for her involvement in anti-Israel demonstrations on campus that turned violent. The appearance of these progressive squad Democrats come as several colleges and universities around the United States brace for what is yet to come as more and more anti-Israel, anti-American protests sweep the nation. AOC has been an inherent defender of those protesting Israel on campus across America in different corners of the United States. In a Tuesday post on X, AOC wrote, calling the police enforcement on nonviolent demonstrations of young students on campus is an exaggerated, reckless, and dangerous act. It represents a heinous failure of leadership and puts people's lives at risk. I condemn it at the strongest possible terms. Yet the police were not called to remove any peaceful protesters. AOC is a liar. They were called in because the students involved were breaking school rules, were breaking laws of America, and becoming violent. Her lies come as chaos on Columbia's campus ignited concerns among the Jewish community as they feared for student safety. One Jewish rabbi even warned Jewish students to leave the campus, cautioning that the New York PD does not have enough people to guarantee your safety. Anti-Israel protesters were heard chanting, Allah Kwazam, you make us proud. Kill another soldier now. We say justice, you say how. Burn Tel Aviv to the ground. And Hamas, we love you. We support your rockets too. Dozens of anti-Israel activists began demonstrating at Columbia University last week. Fiery protests have continued there and in other schools across the country, with several issuing calls for Antifa and death to Israel Prime Minister. Congresswoman Omar, whose views on Israel have been repeatedly criticized by our Republican colleagues in Congress, suggested yesterday that the Gaza ceasefire encampments at Columbia University are being co-opted to make look bad by public officials and members of the media. She said, throughout history, protests were co-opted to make you look bad so police and public leaders would shut you down. That's what we're seeing now at Columbia University, Omar wrote on her Twitter account. And that is a lie. Social media videos from the anti-Israel, anti-American demonstrations that has been staged for days on Columbia's campus show activists cheering on the death of Israeli soldiers and showing support for the terrorist group Hamas. Jewish students have reported feeling unsafe on campus and are sharing their stories of being verbally and physically assaulted. They were pushed, shoved, knocked to the ground, and had rocks thrown at their head and face. At that moment, our lives were totally threatened, one student said, and there was no safety authority on campus, one student told NY1 over this past weekend. So I ask you, America, why are terrorist sympathizers allowed to be in the United States Congress? Why are they allowed to openly show their support for terrorist sympathizers that are actively engaged in threatening behavior right here in America on our college campuses and within our city streets? Why are these members of Congress not being arrested for inciting violence? Violence that includes attacking and assaulting Jewish Americans, and in several cases, the killing of Jewish Americans, destruction of property, chanting death to Israel and death to America, chanting death to soldiers, both IDF and American, chanting praise to the terrorist group Hamas while burning Israeli and American flags, assaulting law enforcement officers by hurling projectiles at them and spitting on them, not to mention the chanting of horrible slogans about them, Israel and America. It is my guess that the FBI and local police departments have been ordered to not arrest these terrorist sympathizers who are also inciting violence. Alihan Omar, AOC, Jamal Bowman, and someone just as guilty of these crimes, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, the queen of anti-Israel, anti-American rhetoric. For that to happen, for them to stand down and not do anything, it must come from at least the head of the Department of Justice, Attorney General Merrick B. Garland, or the only person above him is Joe Biden. Bottom line, it is anti-American, not to mention illegal, to allow these terrorist sympathizers to roam free, spewing hate towards Israel and America and showing their support for these little campus terrorists. Their voices, their texts, their tweets, and their campus field trips are inciting violence towards Israel, towards America, towards law enforcement officers, and anyone who dare show support for Israel. I call on you, American patriots, starting, well, it's too late now, but starting Monday morning, you got the weekend to get their numbers, easy to find, to call the Department of Justice and call the FBI and demand, as an American tax-paying citizen who pays their salary, that they hold these members of Congress, aka terrorist sympathizers, accountable for their action. That is the only way this is going to stop, is when those that are pouring gasoline on the fire, which is these members of Congress, are arrested for what they're doing. There is absolutely no reason for a member of Congress, much less an American, period, to be siding with terrorists and terrorist sympathizers. It is a disgrace to our country. It's a disgrace to our Congress. And it is an outright destruction of the oath they took, because they are not in any way, shape, or form showing support for American values and beliefs or anything in our Constitution. We have the freedom of speech in America. Our Constitution protects that. But when you start calling for the death of America and the death of Israel while burning American flags and Israeli flags, calling for the death of soldiers, not to mention Iran, the number one supporter of terrorist organizations on planet Earth, is now spoken up and are praising what's happening on our college campuses and praising these members of Congress. This cannot go unchecked. Something must be done, and done now. And it is up to you and me to reach out on their social media platforms and email, as well as making phone calls to the FBI and the Department of Justice. Be polite, be nice. Don't say or do anything that's going to cause them to come kick in your door, but express your thoughts and express your concern over the fact that the people that are stirring this mess up, this hornet's nest in America, are not being held accountable for what they're doing. We had no problem at all back on J6, arresting those that went into the Capitol, locking them up, throwing away the key. Yet we are seeing every night on your, well, at least once a week on your TV, those that support Palestine and Hamas marching in the halls of Congress protesting. Why aren't they arrested and charged with the same thing the J6 people were? And why are members of Congress not being charged as well with the exact same charges? Inciting violence goes both ways. Just because they're Democrats doesn't give anyone in law enforcement the right to give them a free pass to cheer on chants of death to this country. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders and their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America, and may God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for watching this special report tonight, and I'll see you soon.